Yo, 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 yo. Salute to everybody out there. This book zombie. This the zombie vault. So tonight I'm about to interview Snoff the Maker, dope experimental producer with a versatile bag when it comes to production. We got all kinds of records from joints like Fuck COVID to Eucalyptus to Lab Leak and Earth is Mad Weird with Veteran Eye. He can also spit as well. So we got a lot to talk about. I'm going to go ahead and bring him in. So we got the one and only Snuff the Maker.
What's good?
What's
You can
going
hear me
on,
well?
bro? How you doing? Can hear you
I'm good.
good.
I'm
Can
good.
hear you good. How you feeling tonight?
I'm good, man. I'm a little hungover from last night, but we'll get there. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Say you a little hungover from last night.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
happened last night, man?
It was we had
Had an
a
event.
anniversary. No, we had a not an anniversary engagement party at work. So
Okay.
near the end of it, I stopped working and I started partying.
Okay. Bad, bad. Well, let's get to it. Snuff the maker, man. First thing a person would want to know when they meet you, of course, is the meaning of your name. You know, break that down for us.
Right. So um my gamer tag was has always been Snarf the Whaler, and I couldn't trademark Snarf, so I went with Snoff. And I was like, I don't want to just be Snoff. I kind of want to like categorize what I do. So I went with Snoff the Maker, and it's because I make everything.
Mm. So let's go back to the very beginning. Give us a little snapshot of your childhood. What was it like? What were some of the things that defined you before music?
Before music, I lived out in the country in Brown Summit, North Carolina. You know, just went to school uh, out there, four wheelers, go karts, like trails, bonfires, hunting, like deer and stuff like that. It is a pretty normal country childhood, I suppose. A
Mm.
little bit of
So
basketball.
during that time, go ahead.
Oh no, is it? It's pretty basic. A lot of
During
video
that
games.
time, what kind of music were you listening to?
I was listening
What
to
were you
what
checking out?
I was listening to mostly what my parents had on hand. Like my mom was really big into like Motown and like soul records, and then my dad was big into like classic rock and stuff like that. So that was pretty much what I had on hand. They had CDs and cassette tapes, so I'd have like a Walkman, and that would be what I was listening to. I didn't like start. I didn't own my first record until Demon Days by Gorillaz came out.
Mm. So when you were listening to what your parents were playing around the house, was it something that you were kind of really into, or you had no choice?
Uh, I didn't like have a opinion at the time. It was just music. You know what I'm saying? It was just like this is what was playing in the background during this thing like happening or whatever. Or this is what we would listen to when I would drive in the car with dad, or if I'd ride in the car with mom, that's what we'd be listening to. So
Mm.
yeah, was never really too big a fan of country music though. So my dad was really big country music. I was not.
Mm.
That's probably what's lighting me up.
Interesting. Interesting.
Right.
So what point did music start taking a turn and becoming something that was more than just something you listened to?
Um, I didn't start producing music until like 2008, and it was because me and my friend Jake Yarborough were like really big into electronic music, like dubstep, and we were like, I want to make this. How do you make this? And so his parents bought him a computer and a couple, pieces of equipment like keyboards, stuff like that. And then we started like together making electronic music in like 2008. And yeah, we
So
did that. We did that
what was
together for years.
what was that first beat like?
Oh, it was terrible. Yeah, like we didn't even make
Mm,
music. Like we just made sounds and like designed sounds for the first like year before we were able to like figure out how to structure a song properly. We were just making gobbledygook. It was like not cohesive, random stuff, just churning out music until it started making sense about a year later.
mm. Was this something that made you kind of frustrated? Frustrated?
No, it was fun. It was like a hobby. It was like we were just tooling around with like weird sound design and stuff like that, and it was cool to like because we wanted to make this music, right? So we just kept messing away with it and like looking into tutorials and all kinds of other stuff to try and figure out how to make it. And yeah, it was fun, man.
Kind of equipment were you using?
Uh, uh, it was a Mac. It was like a desktop Mac that we were on initially, and then wait, I can full screen this. Oh, that's so much better. Okay. It was kind of a desktop Mac, and then we had a an Akai MPC 49 keyboard. That was what we played everything on, and had like pads and knobs and stuff like that. Let me see. Actually, got it right here. Look like this. Looks like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what you started with right
Yeah,
there.
this is literally the keyboard that it's actually Jake's keyboard still. I've just been holding on to it because I do more production than he does now. Now I'm pretty sure he just like plays bass and guitar.
Talk about
But
the
yeah,
learning curve with a piece of machinery like that, especially starting off.
well, like Jake was professionally trained in piano, and I just kind of learned by ear. Like, hey, this sounds good, you know. And yeah, it was super weird. It was really weird because I didn't have like classical music knowledge. I just kind of learned music theory over time. Like it just kind of became ingrained into me. But I never had like a traditional, like super ingrained traditional learning in music. It was kind of like vicariously through the knowledge he knew, and then me experimenting. That kind of got me where I'm at now.
Mm. So paint a picture. What would a typical day look like when you were creating during that era?
Um, well, I honestly can't even remember much about it.
Mm.
Well, smoked a lot of weed at the time, and then I was skateboarding a lot at the time, like 20 hours a week or something easily. And when we would hang out, we would work on music. Because it was all at his house, so I never had it at my house. So we would only work on music when we were hanging out, which we hung out a lot, but um, yeah. So it was basically like we
Mm.
would grind away for like 8-10 hours straight, stay up to like 5 in the morning, just like working on songs and stuff like that. And then we would
Mm.
I've been doing like a lot of networking, like in the community, electronic music community, with people all over the world, to try and like get us in or learn more, or like figure out where we can make some releases happen.
Mm. So your first project, how did that come about?
With Jake, or my first
Yes,
like
with
I mean, we just kind of,
with Jake.
I think we got to the point where I was like, let's just release an album, call it an album. I think it didn't really happen till like way later. We were kind of just making singles, and we put out a single, and it would be, get the thing. That was kind of how you did it back in the day with electronic music. You would make a song, and then you would release a song, and then you would make a song, and you would release a song. And it wasn't like, oh, we're gonna put a whole album together and like concept all this stuff around it until like way later. Um, I think one of the first. Let's see if I can pull it up. Actually, I think one of the first projects. Hazer dubstep. One of the first projects we put out was, wow. Is it not even there anymore? It might not even be. Oh, there it is. Yeah, like we didn't even have any albums. You know what I'm saying? We did a 600 followers EP, when we got to 600 followers. And then other than that, we didn't really do like full releases. And it was just like, oh, we'll just throw some songs on here. It featured a remix by Infect, Infekt, and a couple other remixes by some other homies. And that was like our major release. That that Infect remix actually got played at Quake, in Belgium, which is like it doesn't exist anymore, but it was like an underground rave kind of like boiler room esque setting, and it was super big at the time. And I actually got to watch his remix of our song get played live through the live stream, and that was probably the peak of our career in that time.
Mm. What did that do for your confidence when you put that project out?
Um, a lot. I mean, it was like, it felt different than just releasing singles. It felt like we like did a full thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you could go back to it, and this would be like the pinnacle of like what we had done at the time. Um, it kind of, got me in the uh, like mindset of releasing, full projects and not just singles. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, I mean, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? We weren't like super duper serious about it. Like, otherwise we'd probably still be doing it today.
What was the main thing you learned from that experience that you still take with you today as a producer?
um, that was where I got my start into like audio editing. It was like chopping up
Okay.
vocal samples, taking stems from a pack, and like chopping it up and recreating a song, like doing remixes. We did remix competitions a lot, beat battles a lot, um, you know, and I think networking, that was where I learned, networking and community. I did it through online, obviously, because it was no, electronic dubstep community here. So I did it through online. Like I have homies in Florida, have homies in the UK. Most of them are in the UK, Florida, Georgia, mostly East Coast. But I think networking and like audio editing for sure.
Mm. So, you got a deep discography. And when looking at your albums, you got some far out names that's very interesting. And one of them that stood out immediately was "Fuck COVID." And
Yeah.
when I listened to it, I really it really intrigued me. I want to know what was going on in your mind during that time and what kind of triggered that
Let me get
album.
back to it. Well, I mean, obviously, we were going through COVID. We were in lockdown. It was, ass. It was super trash. You know,
Hmm.
yeah, it was just super duper trash, man. Like, so, um, yeah, that was. It was like I'm putting together this project, and I'm gonna minimize this out of the way. I was like, yo, I'm putting together this project. Like, I want to release a project. It's COVID. We're all locked down. I got to put some stuff out.
Hmm.
So, you know, a lot of my electronic stuff kind of deals with like uh, alien contact and stuff like that. Like, at least in the first few projects, a lot of alien contact experimentation, uh, stuff like that. I mean, it was a small EP, man. Like Contact was actually ended up on a full album later. That's how old that song was. And that one was where I sampled like this. I had done sampling of the like this like somebody had done like sound design of like Alien Contact, or whatever, and I had sampled that in there, like kind of just making things really convoluted and weird in the middle of the song. Quick Explainless was just like that was I want to make it was almost like I want to make superhero music basically. Like it was like this I want this to sound
Hmm.
like it's gonna go in a video game or it's gonna go in an animation or something. Contemplation Contemplation is actually stemmed from a separate project I had done with my friend Chris at the time. And that was who like got me back into when I like bought my equipment um and got all my own solo stuff in my crib to like make stuff. That was who I was like he was learning how to make music and I was learning how to make music at the same time, so we kind of collabed a lot. Me and him put out 2 albums and 2 EPs under a completely different alias that I will never tell anyone about because it was not good. But the production was great, but it was just extremely unserious, like spoof music. But Contemplation came from that era. That's why I have me and him on there. And it was just like it was like, from the jump, I was just thinking about skits and like creating emotion, instilling emotion into people. And that one was really like, I was like really starting to catch my stride as far as like how to portray emotion and like you know create ambiance and experience, instead of just being like this is a song and these are the drums and blah blah blah. Yeah, that one it was like fuck COVID, bro. Like I was mad. I was really mad about COVID.
It's interesting because you got, like, for instance, the joint Reckless.
Mm. Oh yeah,
It got a sedated, huh?
you said what?
You say you were in that mood, but when I listen to joints like Reckless or the joint let's see, Quick Explainless.
Yeah,
When I listen to those, it's a creative way that you articulate how you were feeling.
right. Yeah,
So I
I
think
think
that's
in
interesting.
yeah, Reckless is actually going to still. I don't think it's. I don't know if it's going to end up on a release, but it's still in my
Actually,
bag. Like I haven't forgotten about it. It might get a official release, but it was like yeah, I sampled like a it was a skit of a car crash or like a car. There were people in multiple cars that were like arguing with each other or whatever. I don't remember where I found it, but I put that in the middle, like in there, because I love doing transitions. So like in the middle of the song, the interlude, I had that in there, and yeah, it just kind of, and then it helped me develop the progression of the song. I thought it was cool.
Mm. Now you got some far out names, like I said previously, and some of the names I have no idea what they mean,
Right.
and I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Like it's one album, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would say it's I'm follow skepsis. I'm
Yeah.
follow skepsis. Is
Yeah,
that how you pronounce it?
it's Omphaloskepsis. Yeah. Yeah. That's actually,
Okay.
so believe it or
Go ahead.
not. Well, I did shirts for it. I thought I was wearing one, but it ended up being too small. That album art
Wow.
for
You
that.
have shirts.
Yeah, I have that. That's on a shirt. That album art. That was my first patch of shirts. Yeah, so I did that art myself. That was a photo of me, and then I color blocked the photo and designed the background and did all the yeah, it was all digital. It was digital art. Yeah, Omphaloskepsis means the act of introspection. So introspection is when you're like looking inwards, like about who you are as a person. So omphaloskepsis is the act of doing that instead of
Mm.
yeah, it like defines they are going through that. So yeah, I pick weird
Was
names
there a
because I want
certain
people to.
person? Go ahead.
I pick weird names because I want people
You
to
say
look
you
them up.
pick weird names because you want people look them up. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want people to like
That's
learn.
definitely a dope name, bro. That's definitely a dope name that
Appreciate it.
intrigues the listener, man. I saw that you said your brain was on overload when you were making that project.
Which one?
I read that
Omphaloskepsis?
somewhere. I
You read
Yeah, I
that? Where'd
read
you
that
read that?
somewhere. I read that from a source.
Oh,
I read that
it's
from a source.
it's in the description of the project. Yeah, you're right. Okay, all right,
You-
that's fair. Yeah,
So I'm
that's
trying
why
to
I called
figure out what was going on.
it. That's why I called it a compilation, because I was like, I like it's not really a put together thing. These are just like what I try to make it make as much sense as possible. Um, yeah, and it was all kind of it was just what I had on hand as far as like to release. I was like, I want to release these things, and I don't want to do singles. So I'm going to put them together, and I'm going to put them in the order that makes the most sense. And Definition is like one of my greatest intro tracks of all time. I think I
I
think
want to
Godhead might
ask
be
you.
on all platforms, but I can't remember.
Mm, so I want to ask you something. What, from your point of view, what makes a dope producer?
I think what makes a dope producer is someone who can direct a project into the best case scenario, and like final form of that project. So it's like, you need someone to make the beat. And if the beat is sample based, then they're a beat maker. If the beat is like made from scratch, then they're a producer, at least for the song, for the beat. Like you
Mhm.
don't call somebody who, I mean, I guess you could. I guess they're still a beat maker, but it's just a difference between producing a song and like just making a beat. Like I don't. When I grew up, it was you. Everything was a producer. But then once like sampling really took off, they had to differentiate beat maker, producer. So a producer now uh, is someone who can connect all the dots to make a project complete and to finalize and put out said project. Like I'm gonna be there I'm gonna make the song. I'm gonna pick the person that's gonna be on the song. We're gonna do the recording. You know, you don't have to. The producer doesn't have to do everything in house like I do, but like I prefer to have my hands on the project at all times until it's done. You know, I think the best producers are able to articulate to other people, slash the audience, what this project means and what went into it, and like take it to fruition. You know what I'm saying? It's not just making a song. You know, if you make a song, that's cool. But if you take a song, you name it, you do all the fucking IMEI, all the metadata, you speak with the publisher, you get someone on the song, you sample this or that, like put it on CDs, that's production. Growing up,
So
production
while
just
we
meant
there, I was going to ask.
scratch.
Say that again.
Growing up, production meant just you made everything from scratch. Like you're a producer. You played the instruments. You designed all the sounds from scratch. You didn't just sample everything. That was what a producer was, but now it's more broader. Like, because you got like executive producer. Executive producer literally just listens to it and goes, "That sounds good." You know.
So financially, when it comes to being a producer, you want to elaborate to the people on how it affects artists when you are purchasing equipment, like the investments, making beats and stuff, purchasing the equipment. It's not cheap. You want to talk about money you put in.
It's it's not cheap necessarily. It depends. If you wanted to get
Okay.
into sampling right now and make beats that could go up to the point where you can just sell them off to a lyricist and they can take it to a producer slash engineer, you can do that for a very low price now. Nowadays.
Okay.
Because I said, I use koala samplers, so that's like a $15 investment total, and that's how I do all of my beat making, I would say. But like to be a producer, you're gonna need a good digital audio workstation, like Logic or Pro Tools or whatever, what have you. You need a computer. So that's a decent computer now, even now, like that's still $500, $600, $700. You're gonna want studio monitors, an interface. You're gonna want probably want a microphone of some kind. Yeah, I mean, it's if we're looking at a good setup, it's probably like $1,500, $2,000, like for a kind of base setup, depending. You just have to, if you're trying to get it all brand new and trying to figure out exactly what to get, you could probably do it for less. But like, yeah, it's something you want to do over time. It's not like you want to. If you just get a computer, you can make it work with just a computer and the program. You know what I'm saying? And then you can work on purchasing the speakers, good speakers, and the interface and the microphone, and all this like shit. But if anybody's like trying to start producing, like I would go with the computer first, and then fill out all the other bits and bobs. Like being a producer over time is literally just collecting gear. Like, and you can't. There's always going to be new and more better things that you need later down the line. Like, oh, I'm going to upgrade my microphone. I'm going to do this. Like, you just start with the basics. My microphone, my first microphone, this microphone. It was an MXL 770. I got it for $80. Came with a shock mount and a hard case off of Amazon. MXL 770. And Like, I mean, that took me from recording on iPhone headphones, like a lot. I recorded a lot of lyrics on iPhone headphones. Then, because that's what we had, you know what I'm saying? I had a MacBook Pro, and I had iPhone headphones, like the old ones that you click. And we recorded several albums on that. And then yeah, it was like maybe $200 to get this microphone and well, I mean, I could show it to you, but I'd have to pick up my computer. Like a isolation chamber and stuff like that. Like you can, that's like bare bones. You can make everything you want to happen from that.
Mm. So when you creating, well, compare it to the people so they can understand or they can visualize. Like, how is it when you creating in a room full of people versus when you alone? What's your thought process? How does it?
Yeah, I don't really like necessarily creating around a bunch of people. Um, you know, if I'm doing editing and like stuff in post production, I can do that around people, and that's fine. Um, I've gotten better at it now because I work with so many people. But like before, I didn't like anyone around. I like to be in my zone, like tunnel vision, so that I don't get any outside influences that aren't me. You know, um, so much so that like 90% of the time, I don't even listen to music like outside of the projects I'm working on or beats I'm working on, making new beats and stuff like that. I don't listen to music. I listen to music when I'm at work. Like when I'm on my job. And even then I'll still be playing the albums I'm currently mixing and mastering. I'll be like that half the time. I'm at work. I'll probably listen to stuff I'm currently working on, or maybe somebody sent me in something, so I got to check it out. Um, yeah, I like to be like alone and like within my space. Um, but in sessions, I can make stuff around. Like I can have people around. I'll just put some headphones on and I'll focus in. Like there's a couple beats that I made over at Brian Staples' studio where we were having cook sessions, and I would just bring over my 4/4 and I would sample stuff on Koala. And now because Koala is so accessible for me, like on my phone, I can just by the time I'm showing it to you, I've already figured out what I'm doing with it, and then I can be like, "Oh, here, let me chop it up for you." Boop, boop, boop.
Mm, mm. So your first full length album, Secret Lab,
Yes.
you you say when you creating alone, that's more of your thing. Are you more of an early bird or a night owl when it comes to
Uh,
making beats? Like which is better for you?
Definitely night owl, because that's how I got used to like staying up till like 5 in the morning. You would get locked in on working
Okay.
on this thing, and Secret Lab
Hmm.
was all original production. So like I made all the sounds. Like I had a synthesizer. I was designing the sounds and automating them and doing all this extra stuff to get to that project. And a lot of times I would end up on my computer for like 8 hours, like till like stupid late in the morning. Uh yeah, it's just once I get locked in on it, like I'll just forget everything. I'll like forget to drink and eat or anything, and then I'll like just like I'm gonna complete this thing. Back then, like doing full production like that took forever. Like that album took like 6 months, like 6, 7, 8 months of just that's what I was working on, nothing else. Um,
Was
and yeah,
was it intentional for the electronic feel, like especially like the joint Delta?
mm. Yeah, no, it's definitely It was definitely experimental electronic music. It's not. This was before I was making hip hop like that. It
Wow,
was
this was
before.
before.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I mean,
Now,
what's it
Delta.
says 2022, so maybe I might have been no. Yeah, so I wasn't I was making hip hop around that time, but I wasn't making a lot of it.
Okay.
Like you could see Pure Pussy EP, The Revenue, On Time Arrival. Those are 2022 remasters, right? And then Sample
Hmm.
Sessions 1 came out in 2022. So, um, I think Secret Lab, I dropped it at the beginning of the year, if I'm not mistaken, when I did drop it. And so
Hmm.
I had technically made it in 2021, you know, um, if I'm not mistaken. But um, yeah, it was intentional. It is an electronic full production. Like I wanted to, I wasn't like obsessed with sampling at the time. I was definitely making stuff, but I it was the sampling was like a hobby. The electronic music was like, this is what I'm good at and this is what I want to do, and like, it was the best way for me to like express myself. I couldn't really express myself in sampling yet. So
Mm. Like on that joint Delta, I could hear two MCs, and it's Cool Keith and Dell the Funky Homo Sapien. So if you had to pick one of those to rhyme on that track, which one would you go with?
um probably Dell. Probably Dell, because
Mm.
I've personally listened to more Dell than I have Cool Keys. Unfortunately, I know everybody gives me shit about it. But like, it was like, I just came across more Dell more often than I did like Cool Keys stuff.
Okay.
So,
Your
and
your music is in alignment with that universe, I would
right,
say. You know,
yeah.
it has that shock value appeal. So speaking of shock value, how would you say that makes people pay attention more? Or does that make people pay attention more?
I do like shock value. I'll be honest. I like to come with the weirdest, craziest thing. Like if you see me play a live set, I
Hmm.
generally bring the weird off kilter things to throw people off. Um, and be like, I've never heard anything like this in my entire life type stuff. So that was it's kind of the goal. It's not like, for me, like if I'm gonna play a set, I don't want I want it to be memorable. You know what I mean? So it's not so much that like my beats aren't memorable, but more that like if I got 20 beats, like what are the 5 beats I'm gonna play for this thing? I'm gonna pick the ones that are the weirdest, the ones that have the most shock value, I guess. You could say. But yeah, the shock value is like what excites me the most. Like when I'm making something, I'm not like thinking about how other people are going to perceive this as much as I am a fan of what I'm working on. Like I'll be like, yo, this is so hard. Like, yo, this is crazy. Like it's fun for me. Like I'm having fun. I don't think of anyone else. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the main part. I do this because I have fun making music. It's never going to lose that touch to me. And if it does, I'll take a break and then I'll come back to it later. But it's for me. I'm doing it for me. All this electronic music, that was for me. The only reason I put it out was because it's like I guess I want people to hear it and have experiences with it. But yeah, my favorite beats are the ones that like make me go, "Oh shit, fuck." Like, I can't believe it came together
That's
like
all
that.
of them.
Yeah.
That's all of
I
them, man.
yeah, I guess you could say that. I appreciate
Yeah, man. That's
it.
all of your people, man. You know. But I brought up shock value because the main project for me that stands out as far as names is Pure Pussy. So when you came up with that name, was there any hesitation? Or you was like, fuck it, I'm
No,
going with this name. I'm not.
no. Well, I mean, like that was, I made that whole project in collaboration with a good friend, Evan Collier, and he had come to me and be like, "Hey," like he was like, "Hey, there's this soundtrack. I'm gonna send you this soundtrack from this movie called Silver Streak with Gene Wilder and Russell Simmons."
Silver
And
Street.
yeah, Silver Streak. And I was like, I listened to it and I was like, this is super dope. And he's like, I want you to make some beats out of this, sample this, make some beats. I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a beat out of each song from the soundtrack, right? And the I don't remember if I came up with the name or if he came up with the name, or either way, the name itself is in the movie. It's the name of the car, the getaway car, and because Silver Streak
Mm-hmm.
is a train, but they have like I think it's a train. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's haven't seen it in a while. The car's name is Pure Pussy, so I was like, oh, we're gonna name the project after the car. So the name already existed, but I just kind of pulled it from the source material, which is kind of how I name everything every time, pretty much.
So compare that project to the project On Time Arrival. You got Pure Pussy, but then you got On Time Arrival. So
So On Time Arrival was
with,
my
with revenue.
first. Yeah, Revenue is my homie Evan Collier. Um, I don't think he goes by that name anymore. Just trying to get him back into writing and rapping again, but that was his full length album with me, and I would,
Mhm.
because he was the lyricist I had, and he was who I was working with, so, and it was the homie, like that's like the
Right.
super homie, like we grew up together, so he was like, I'd make stuff and he would come over and he would write to him, or I would send him to him and he would write to him, and then he would come over and record them. And that was like my first real take into like putting together a full project with somebody, a lyricist. And some of those beats got used on the MC10 project. It was,
Mm.
yeah, I think Heater, Go to Pieces. Yeah, some of them did. The rest of them have not yet been used by anybody else. But yeah, it was like, and that's his painting. The album artwork, he painted that. That's a physical painting.
Really,
Yeah,
really.
yeah, um, yeah. I
Mm.
think Pure Pussy was like me being cinematic and kind of, I want to put together all these things and like do like heavy sampling and like string it all together and blah blah blah. And I'm gonna put a different person on each song, kind of like Alchemist does his joints, like Lunch Meat and all the other joints, but kind of riffing off that. But uh, the On Time Arrival album was like, we're gonna put together a full album, front to back, and it was just him on every song. So that was my first real take into like putting together a whole project with somebody.
What kind of sacrifices did you make? Because come you work in the secret lab. So when
Mm.
you working on joints like On Time Arrival, how is it?
It was I mean, it was, again, it was fun, I was that was me learning sampling. On Time Arrival, Pure Pussy was like the
Hmm.
first things I ever put together. Like the first sampling I've ever done was on Pure Pussy. And That's why it's so unique, because it's not exclusively a hip hop song. It's not like exclusively a hip hop project. It's like hip hop, it's cinematic, and it 100% uses the songs. Right? It's mad. It's like super. There's no way we would ever clear it. Um, and On Time Arrival, those a lot of those are in the second half of Sample Sessions 1, which is like my first beat tape. It was me like learning how to chop, like really chop things up, and come up with creative things, instead of just finding a cool spot in a song and throwing drums on it and then stimming it together. That was me learning sampling and also recording. Well, I had done a lot of recording with people before then, but it was never hip hop, so I was trying to figure out what that means.
Would never would never know that you were learning sampling at
That's
that point.
that was
That's
that was why I was
crazy.
like that's why I was like I think this is my thing. I was like, I think I'm good at this. And everything up until Sample Sessions 2 was and Sample Sessions 2 still has some that were made exclusively on the computer. Um Everything up until Sample Sessions 2 was made exclusively on the computer. So like I had the full audio of what I was sampling, and I had to find the section, and I would chop both ends of it, and then I would arrange it and then chop other bits of the song. And arguably I still can do this. I know how to do this because I spent so much time doing it, but I could arguably make way more complex songs and
Mm.
progressions doing it that way. Like if I was to sit down and do it now, like take a sample I would normally chop up in Koala and throw it in Logic. But it takes way longer, like so much longer. Like I'm talking 3 hours for a song just to assemble everything. And I know that 3 hours doesn't sound very long, but I can make a beat in 5 minutes on Koala now. You know what I'm saying? So like it would be like the longest process literally ever. And so convoluted, and like it's hard to make it, hard to keep it in time, and like yeah, it was a lot.
So I got a question for you.
Mm,
Um, as a fan, when I look at producers, I a lot of times I associate producers with other producers. Like for instance,
sure.
Pete Rock and Premier, or Doom and Madlib.
Mm.
So with you, who would you say is your twin flame producer?
Um, like I love everybody I know.
Yeah.
Probably, I don't know, man. Like I can't say MF Doom, because the way he the way he makes things and the way I make things are so vastly different. Um,
Mm.
the closest producer that I know that creates things similar to what I make, or how I make things, is probably, at least how I think about songs, probably like Van Gogh, probably. Vet's cousin, Van Gogh. Probably. I haven't made anything with him, but like the way we think about songs and like how they should sound, and the post production that goes into his music, that is probably the closest to, even though I'm like super weird with the way I do things. I think it's more the philosophy of it is closer. If we were talking about sound, then it's probably somewhere in between Dilla and Doom, um, because I'm always hunting that weirdness. Like I never want to make a basic song like ever. I still do sometimes, and I'll be like, yeah, this is cool or whatever, and like you know I'll make the song and I'll complete it and I'll move on to the next thing, and just But like the ones that really stick out are the really weird ones, or the ones that I had to do something really convoluted to make it work the way I wanted, like to weave the sample properly. I never want to do things like cookie cutter. I always want to like learn new ways to sample like every time.
One as a fan of Snoff, to me, what defines you most as a producer is the Eucalyptus series. Would you agree with that?
Probably, yeah. I would say, well, yeah, I would say between that and the MC10 project, me on my own, definitely Eucalyptus for sure. Because me and Vet,
Define it in one sentence. No, go ahead.
Eucalyptus.
Go ahead.
Me and Vet on MC10 are very collaborative on how we want things to sound. Outside of once he picks the beat and we start recording, then we're very like back and forth, like do this, do that. He'll send me things. I'll send him things. Be like, this sounds cool. Let's do this. Da, da, da. Very collaborative mindscape on that, and that's why he's MC10 as the rapper. I'm MC10 as the producer. We're both MC10 essentially, and why MC10 only exists on my beats. You know what I'm saying? For Eucalyptus,
If MC10 were to, okay, good.
My bad. Go ahead.
No, my bad. My bad. I'm interrupting you.
I think Eucalyptus is my like ultimate brainchild as far as in the hip hop realm. The Eucalyptus series, because I do all the A&R for it. I do all the, all my mixing and mastering and production and everything. It's like 100% me. And, I could release them without lyricists forever. I could release like 3 more of them right now without any lyricists. But then when Eucalyptus 3 came around, I was like, this is so good. And by that point, all these other lyricists around town or in the area already had a lot of these beats, but they just hadn't finished writing to them or we hadn't recorded them yet. So I was like, if I got all these lyrics together, I would have a super album. And I might come back once all these songs get done in retrospect, like way later, once all the beats have been used for something. I'll probably come back and do like a Eucalyptus 3 Deluxe because of how impactful that album is for like the pinnacle of my sound. Like some of those songs on there, I'm like, I don't think I'll make something this good ever again. Like,
It's a good feel. All of them. Everyone has a different vibe to it.
right.
I can hear development.
Right.
So which one is your favorite if you have to pick one?
Right now, it's probably still it's probably No Elliptus, the Christmas the holiday Eucalyptus version. It is still a Eucalyptus album. It's just a holiday rendition of it. I just love the way the beats came together, man. The lyrics came together, really well. Like it just made sense, and had a lot of fun. Like that got me out of a funk, putting that together.
On that album, talk about working with Drew Shamir. How was it? Like, what did you pick up from working with him?
By that time, I had already gotten 3 other features from Drew at that time. I had put him on. He was on MC10-1. He was on the first MC10. And like obviously Vet made that. I hadn't worked. I can't remember what came out first. MC10-1? No, yeah. No. I can't remember what came out first, Eucalyptus 3 or MC10-1. Hold on. We're just going to look it up. I'm right here. Yeah, AMC 10-1 definitely came out first. Yeah, we had gotten him together, you know, and he's so dope. Like you could give him any beat and he would annihilate it. So we were already good homies at that time. So, you know, now it's like uh he's super dope with like his lyrics and the way he like formulates a song. He's probably one of the most like he can make really weird stuff, but like what he has that a lot of people don't have is a very good understanding of song structure and like the ability to draw the crowd in. Like he has a really good voice. He has really good hooks. He's polarizing, you know, and when you hear him on a track, it's like, holy shit, you know what I'm saying? So no, it was a no brainer. Like I hit him for no elliptis. This was the fourth time working with him. I just hit him and I sent him the whole beat tape. I sent him the whole tape. I said, I kind of want you on this song, but if you know, pick another song if you don't want that one. And I initially was going to put him on Butter, which actually turned out to be it turned out being called Only Fun for Some. That was like a skit. It was like a drumless beat skit joint. I was like, let me put Drew on here. He'll probably do something crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then at the end, he was like, I want to do the other song. I can't remember what it was called. I think it was called No, Pardon Our Dust is on newcomers. But anyways, yeah, he was like, oh, I'm gonna do this one. Let me do this one. I was like, okay, cool. He sent it to me and I was like, holy shit. I took the lyrics, and then I was like, I know what else, because I know what he's talking about and I know what the album's about. So I'm gonna add on to after that. And like the skit that I added at the end was from it was like a Scrooge. It was called Scrooged, I think is the name of it. The like Christmas movie. And I put that skit on there. The skit's almost as long as his entire verse.
Oh
uh
wow.
yeah, but it was
Yeah.
just it just was a super impactful song, and I was like, I know exactly what to do with this, and it fit the bill so perfectly that yeah, I mean we're working currently, we're formulating a collab album between me and him right now. So
Mm. With that album, what in those beats made you say, all right, I want to rhyme to that? Like you making beats.
I was
What
mad.
was it that still you was mad?
Yeah, I was mad, man. Like I just lost my job, and you know, I had to scramble up rent in 20 days, you know, and I did end up getting a new job, like, you know, less than a week later, but it yeah, I was like, I'm putting this project together. And what helped me design that was the first song that I'm rapping on, Jolly Spirit. I was like making the song and I was like, this sounds Christmassy. And I was like, yeah, I'm in the Christmas spirit. Like, I'm not gonna let this funk fuck me up. I was pretty sauced and I had just gotten back from the club. And that was the day I lost my job. Literally. Uh I was like, yo, I'm not going to the club. I already planned to go. Like I'm not like you're not gonna stop me. I'm gonna have a great time. Um and I was sitting in the car listening to it, and I was kind of, you know, I was kind of tipsy or whatever, and I was like, "This is Christmassy. Like, what if I rapped as Santa Claus?" You know what I'm saying? And it
Hmm.
for me, once I get that first like bar, it just writes itself. Like the first bar makes the most sense. I just stab at it over and over, and I don't know, man. Like I I like writing. I like rhyming. And I was at the point where I had done it enough to um, be able to facilitate like what the song needed and it make it good. And dude, I think I wrote that whole thing like in my car, like that night,
Hmm.
like that whole Jolly Spirit song. And then once I did that, I was like, oh, you know, I already had a lot of these beats like kind of formulating. And I was like, oh, like what if I did like a rebuttal, you know, like I've already got this one, so now I know what this next one's about because it's a rebuttal to this. And that's why I put them back to back. And nah, man, it's just I can't explain what a song needs to make me want to rhyme. I just hear it. I hear it and I go, this is for me and not for someone else. You know what I'm saying?
One instrument.
One instrument.
You got to pick one instrument. What would you pick?
Probably piano. Because with the piano, with the ability to play piano, you can play any instrument.
Break it down.
At least in like if you learn piano, then it's like learning Latin and then learning another language like Spanish. Like the foundational knowledge of the correlation between notes on a piano transfers over to just about everything else. You know what I'm saying? So guitar, saxophone, whatever, what have you. Maybe not drums, but even then. And as a producer, if you know how to play piano, then you can play any instrument because you can just load up harp or whatever and play it. If you just know how to play guitar, then you don't have that ability. So as a producer, knowing piano, at least, base knowledge of how to play on just play things on a piano is paramount. Plus,
when you look at everything you've done, like up to this point, what is the most important thing that you've learned
that I've learned,
that you carry with you as far as skill?
I think. Well, like I don't even think about it anymore, but it's kind of just like not thinking. It does, if that makes any sense. It's like doing instead of thinking, creating out of reaction and out of like instinct instead of
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do this specific thing and then this is what you do to make a song and then you put them together like this and it just doesn't work like that. It does. If you have a manager and you have a massive label and they're like, make a pop song that is guaranteed to chop charts, then yes, there is a formula to do that, but you're just going to be another cookie cutter like everybody else. And who's to say that that's going to work? You know what I'm saying? Some of the best creatives of our generation or of this current generation break the mold. So like that, the people that are remembered hundreds of years later are the people that broke the mold or that set new standards and practices into play. So I think the not thinking, I think just doing and being okay with failing and being okay with like it not sounding good. And like if you do a thing enough times or enough ways, you'll figure out how to avoid not sounding good. And that's why, like you say, everything I make is fire. It's like, to me, there are a lot of beats that I make that I'm like, like it doesn't grab me, but I still complete it and finalize it. So I think not thinking and then learning how to say when something's done. Those are the two major things as a producer, as a beat maker. Not overthink and then not try to just make perfection all the time. Like just complete the thing, give it all the right elements of a thing that's complete and call it a day and move on to the next thing.
Bro, that was dope. Love that answer. I want to talk about strange music boxes. What's up with that? I seen the video and it's like three. It's like an album in one video
Yeah.
with three different songs in one video. We want to break it down for the people. Tell them who is in it, what the video is about, the concept, where it was at. Tell them all about it.
So Strange Music Boxes, the beats and project were made in about 2018, 2021. It was like not very long into my sampling journey. And I put them together just like I did Pure Pussy. I was like, this is 1, 2, and 3. This one's first, this one's second, this one's third. And I strung them together like I did Pure Pussy. And I completed them, and then I just set them aside. And I was like, they eventually ended up on a beat tape in order, but they were off to the side as this is going to be a project at some point when I find some lyricists. And one of my homies at work started writing to one of them, and I was like, I was like, yo, just come over and let's record it. We did that. And then as soon as I did that, I had the next 2 songs lined up, who was going to be on them, and it came together pretty quickly at that point. Then, the whole thing was shot. The concept was about like a music box. So it's like strange music boxes. It's my mother's record player that I have in my house. And I staged it in different locations around Battleground Park, which is right near where I live. And I wanted it to be a sense of discovery. Like these lyricists are walking through, enjoying the park, wandering around, aimlessly, and then they hear something, and then they go to where the source of the sound is. The source is coming from this music box, and that they start rapping to this strange sound or whatever. And the way I sampled it was super unique because I still don't have the ability to go straight from a vinyl record into my DAW, into my computer. So I took my microphone, this microphone right here, the MXL 770, and I leaned it in front of the record player while I played the record, and then took that recording and
Okay.
chopped that up to make it.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a lot
Creative.
of process. Yeah. It was a shitty way to sample. Don't sample anything like that because you don't get any low end. You only have high end, so you have to go through and add in the low end and do all this extra stuff. And the sounds were like not crystal clear. Obviously, I don't care about crystal clear samples, but yeah. So the first song is Trillaire Gates. Second song is Ziglaw, Shakar Kareem, and Haruma Bip. With Shakar, Haruma Bip, Ziglaw. And then the third song is Mr. Adams and Veteran. And all the songs are basically the same concept, but they're named differently. It's different, different sounds, but they flow into each other. So it was 3 individual music videos, one for each one. I shot the first and second one, and Loose Cans shot the third one. And I think Loose Cans did the editing for the third one. Veteran did the editing for the first 2. And once we put out the 3 singles, I went in and edited all 3 of them together like the project was meant to be consumed, to give you this seamless experience.
Dope. It was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a
Looked like
absolute shit ton of work, but the ending result was very, very good. And I think we aired it before it even went live. We aired it at a local film show, like a film night, and we got to see it like on a big projection in front of a bunch of people. So that was cool.
How was that reception?
That was crazy. Oh, we were so lit. We were lit because like it was such a dope project, and it kind of brought a lot of people together. I was able to like introduce Trillaire into the group to like let them, yo, this is my boy. He raps. He's good. Kind of bring him into the mix. So, now hopefully he'll be working with other people. But yeah, it was super dope.
Bro, I had the privilege to be able to hear a lot of music that the average person hasn't heard yet. You want to talk about some of that stuff that's pun intended in the vault that you got?
Yeah. We have Saison with me and Zigla, and that's our collab album. And I'm finishing it up now. It features a lot of people, a lot of really dope performers and lyricists, and super dope, jazzy, funky production. Some really evil production in there too. And it's all like based around food and like being a master chef and like seasoning and all kinds of stuff like that. So um, that one's a really fun one. I'm excited for everybody to hear that. It's going to be 11 to 12 tracks. I don't know for a fact if we're doing the bonus track because we haven't recorded it, but I want to because I like 12 more than 11. I think I don't really like odd numbers in albums. It's kind of weird to me. The other album is Smoke and Mirrors with Mr. Adams, and that's done recording. I'm just adding in some sampling seasoning to it. But I'm gonna finish that up after I finish Saison with Zigla, and that is a very classic hip hop, heavy hitting hip hop album with a bunch of dope concepts and projects on it. And it's like with Smoke and Mirrors, it's like every song could be the single. Like I don't know what single we're gonna release from it, but I think I do, but I can't tell you yet. So, it's gonna change. It's gonna make a lot of people mad. It's gonna be a
Oh,
lot.
really?
There's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna be mad that we're putting out so much dope shit. It's just
Man,
not in a
it's
bad
coming.
way. You know, I mean, there's
Pause.
definitely some haters out there. Pause. Yeah, definitely. Pause.
Yeah,
Um,
it comes with it, you know.
so I've got uh, a project called Dunk Contest with Time. Stands for the Inner Mind's Eye. He's out of Chapel Hill, and he's one of the most lyrically talented people I know. He can put more words into a verse than you've ever heard, and just crazy rhyme skill. So we're going to be doing that. Well, we have 2 songs done. One is out. It's a single called Mike Jordan that is on SoundCloud and YouTube. And we released that for Dunk Contest Day this year at the beginning of the season, the basketball season. And that album is focused on sneakers and basketball and being dope and fly and shit like that. So it's very bombastic, I would say. The beats are reminiscent of like a 98 Bulls highlight reel. So like if it doesn't feel like that, then that's not the beat. You know what I'm saying? They're all the beats for it are there is a one very probably the most evil beat I've ever made is on that one also, but the rest of them sound like classic, you know, all-star basketball.
Wow. Classic all-star basketball.
Yeah, it's
It's gonna
like
be
yeah, it's
it's
nuts.
gonna be yeah. Yeah, man. You sound like you got some stuff in the works, man. I've heard from what I've heard, it's gonna be some problems this summer.
It's gonna cause problems for sure. People are gonna be like,
Uh-huh.
who the fuck is this dude? Um,
Right.
like who made this? Who is this dude? Never heard of him probably. What the fuck? How do I work with them? And then they're gonna find out that they can't most of the time. They're gonna, you know, and it's not that I don't want to work with everybody, but it's just like I want to be intentional and specific with the types of projects I put out. And I'm not craving, oh, I want super dope rapper. I want them to be famous and all this extra shit. I don't crave any of that. I don't crave money or a sound. I have at the moment, I have all the dope lyricists I could ever need. And it's like if I work with anyone outside of that, it's someone specifically that I want to work with. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to work with this person because I think we would make something really dope. And it's like outside of that, like I probably won't even sell you a beat. Like I don't, I don't sell beats like that. I sell beats when I need funds really badly. You know what I'm saying? And even then, like I gotta fuck with what you're putting out, or you're not gonna be on one of my beats.
Mm,
Plain and simple.
mm, mm. So if someone wanted to purchase a beat, they basically it's like winning the lottery to get a snuff beat.
I mean,
That's what it sounds like.
the goal is to. I'm not trying to be stingy, but the goal is to, like, I don't, like I said, I do this for me. You know what I'm saying? I make all this stuff for me, and I just happen to have a lot of people around me that fuck with it. So
Hmm.
we make stuff together. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not doing this to top the charts. I'm not doing this to make $1 billion. I'm not doing this to prove to somebody I've never met how good I am. Like, I'm not doing that. Um, I'm doing it because I love it. I'm doing it because it's fun. It makes me feel, it gives me purpose in life. And I have witnessed it affect people in positive ways that I want to continue to provide that, energy to. So, like, yeah, it's not even that. It's not like I just don't sell beats, really, unless it's to my people. Um, and, because if I did, I would be making all my stuff from scratch so that I could, you know, not worry about copyright or this or that. Um, yeah.
So in the Greensboro area, when you move around, tell people about the hip hop scene and how you interact and where you be at, if you
Um,
may.
I'd be at the venues, what I mean? I'd be at the hip hop shows. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not there, you probably won't see me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm at my job a lot. And when I'm not at my job, I'm at home. And when I'm not at home or my job, I'm at the shows. If you want to run into me in Greensboro, you go to a hip hop show. You know what I'm saying? And don't try to tell me that you're so dope and this and that and you want to hop on a bill or you want to do a track together and I never see you at the shows. Like, if you're not out there in the scene putting the work in or putting the boots on the ground, then why would I ever want to work with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I that doesn't appeal to me. Like, you're not the type of artist I want to work with in the first place. So you just might as well not even ask. I be at the hip hop shows, man. Like, if you see one locally happening, I like, you know, 80% of the time I'm gonna know someone on that bill, and I may or may not be there supporting them. I can't be at all of them as much as I'd love to be, because I'd have also get things done and pay bills. So yeah, if you're trying to run into me, you pull up to the shows, especially Flatiron, Back Table. The Pearl. I love the Pearl. Hell, sometimes I even still go to Common Grounds open mics. Like, sometimes I go to open mics still. Very rarely, but I still go there because that's where I grew up. Like, if I hadn't gone there initially, then no one would know who I am. So I go there to reiterate, hey, respect the mic. This is serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can make things happen here. Like, you just have to do it enough.
Bro, you definitely keep the culture, the underground culture, alive in Greensboro, man. They was about to lose, a venue, and you were
Yeah.
heavily involved in saving that venue.
I mean, I like to think I was, but it's like I said, it's not about never about any kind of recognition. Um, I didn't start the GoFundMe. I didn't, do any of that. I just contacted a lot of people and made a lot of posts to use my platform to broadcast. I'm really good at A&R. I'm really good at networking. So I, you know, put it on blast, and I deleted all my links out of my Instagram profile and just put the GoFundMe link. And, because the Flatiron is like my favorite venue in town. And I really mess with Josh and Abby that run the place. And that's where I got my start in the actual hip hop scene, was at Flatiron.
Mm.
That's where I met Vet. That's where I met, all the Beats Batch crew. That's where I met Prez. You know, Also where I met Mr. Everybody I know, I met through Flatiron. Everybody I know in the scene, I met through Flatiron. Like, go there, go to hip hop shows at Flatiron if you want to meet all the dopest people in the scene. And shout out to Flatiron. I'm glad that they were able to raise the money they needed. A lot of us were working on putting together a benefit, and by the time, you know, by the time we were like finalizing what it was going to be, or really figuring out, they had already met their goal. So we were like, I guess they don't need saving anymore. But yeah, I'm super stoked about it, and it was a beautiful thing to see, and it was also like sticking it to the man. Like, I just fucking hate the private corporatism and realty bullshit that happens in Greensboro. Just the way they try to squeeze out everything that's independent and individual and has culture and soul. Like, they raise the rent. They don't understand its significance in the city, and I'm glad we were able to prove that. And what's funny is that DGI, Downtown Greensboro Incorporated, or whatever, they're like the managers of the city. Um, when I made those posts, like, it was that post of like Vet and Shakar or whoever on at the flat, and then like save the Flatiron, and I put the GoFundMe. Like, I tagged DGI in the post. You know what I'm saying? And they saw it. So, like, they I don't know if that influenced what city funding came out about it, but like, I needed them to know what the fuck was going on, and that we don't subscribe to that. We don't subscribe to losing legendary staples that make this city what it is, and we don't care how much money they want to make off of us. You know what I'm saying? That we don't care if they want to be greedy and rich, and do whatever they want with our city, because we're gonna keep our people afloat, with or without them.
Mm.
So shout out DGI, do better, quit being bombs. You know,
Y'all hear this? This guy is a true hip hop head who's for the culture, man. When it comes to standing up for the culture, he was at the forefront. He makes all of these beats. He not out here trying to hit people in the head and take advantage of people. You know, for the culture, man. Snoff the maker, y'all. Snuff, man, you want to let them know how they can get in contact with you and follow you on
yeah, yeah,
platforms.
yeah. Let me find it. Where is it? Right here. See it? Snoff the Maker. If you type that in literally anywhere, you'll find me. Except for Facebook. Don't add me on Facebook. I don't care if you know my government name. We're not we're not close friends. We're not family. Don't add me on Facebook, please. Please, just add me on Instagram, or contact me, just message me on Facebook. You don't need to add me. Like, it's I get it. I get it. All the old heads use Facebook. It's cool, or whatever. But like, that's where my family is. You know what I'm saying? That's my government name on there. Like, I'm not worried about privacy, but I also just don't use Facebook like that. Like, if I don't know you like that, I'm not adding you. You can add me if you want, but like, I'm not adding you back, because I don't want to see your shit on my Facebook. I want to get on my Facebook, and I want to see my little cousins from 8 states over. You know what I'm saying? I want to see life, family shit. But right here, Snoff the Maker, SNOFFTHEMAKER, on all platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Bandcamp. If you want to go to streaming, Apple Music, Spotify, not Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, whatever, iHeartRadio. I'm on every platform. I'm on 54 platforms over the world. I get my most plays out of Cairo and places that aren't America. You know,
Mm.
if you want to hit me up, you want to chop it up or like, collab or do anything, you hit me up there on Instagram right here, Snoff the Maker.
When you sitting down with the great grandkids and they asking for a story, you know, what would you, not even a story, but what would you tell them as far as what kept you going, what kept you motivated?
I would probably teach them about, you know, Buddhistic practices and stuff like that. Buddhist practices and how to create your reality out of thought mindfulness and you know looking at things differently, finding a different perspective, finding multiple perspectives. I wouldn't really I have really shit memory, I'm gonna be honest. I wouldn't have too many like, I don't like to think of myself as grandiose. It's more like, I'll probably tell them stories about me hanging out with my mom or me hanging out with my dad or like my family, like stuff that matters. Um, all this they really ask me, then I'll talk about it. But all this like, all this other shit is just visceral, random, surface level things. It's the thought process behind it that matters, not what we're listening to or like what this person's saying or what this person's saying. Um, yeah, I wouldn't give them stories. I would teach them how to think for themselves and how to, not let the horrific world um, whittle them down into nothing.
Bro, well said, man. This was an honorable opportunity to sit down with a dope producer such as yourself. I learned a lot. I look forward to taking this information and getting a more extensive understanding of your music going forward. And I also look forward to what's coming out soon, man. And the people that's watching, y'all better follow Snuff. Y'all better tap in because this guy is not your average producer, man. So send this interview to somebody that thinks like you, listens to music like you, all of that, man. And we're gonna end it off like that, man. I want to thank Snuff for having this conversation with me, man.
I appreciate you. Thank you for having me. Book always. Um, you know, I'm always down to chop it up and talk about shit, man. And where were you today, man? We were at the cook session at Mr. Adams, bruh.
I was here.
You told me about it. You said
I
you
know.
going
I
to the
told.
thing.
Hey,
You said you going to the
I
thing.
thought you. We're gonna finish that after the interview, yo. Hey, appreciate you for this interview, bro. It was a this was a classic one, man. We're gonna sign off. All right,
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good
all
night.
right, all right. Peace.